Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Fabric Friday. And today on Fabric Friday we have this very beautiful, this very amazing mermaid gown that has a godet, it has a v-neck bustier, and it just speaks everything royalty. So if you see me one of these days wearing this gown, refer to me as Her Royal Highness. Okay? To make this gown, you need to first of all tell yourself, I can sew it, because it is very simple and easy, ladies and gentlemen. Now this gown, let's just quickly go to dissecting this gown, because you guys know I'm full of drama. I don't want to be so dramatic in this video. So this gown has a princess dart bustier, and it is a v-neck bustier. This is not a gown that it's not a bustier that is just straight around the chest region. No, it's a bustier that sort of extended to halfway the shoulder point. Okay, it's more like a v-neck, if you can see it here. I know some of you might argue that, oh no, it is a v-neck, it's not an off shoulder. From the picture here, I wish I'll be able to really zoom in for you guys. This is an off shoulder with a shoulder. There's something called off shoulder with shoulder, and this is what it is. It's more like an off shoulder bustier, an off shoulder princess dart bustier, but then a sleeve that was on the shoulder was attached to it. So it's more like off shoulder with shoulder bustier, off shoulder bustier with sleeve. Do you understand? Now that is what this blouse is, and you guys know I always tell you that if you want to take up on a style, divide the style into sections. So this dress is a blouse and a skirt. So just take a look at the skirt part of this gown. So the skirt is just a basic mermaid skirt, and I just believe that mermaid skirts are here to they have come to stay, because this is over 3 years of the mermaid skirt coming back into fashion, and man, everybody is killing it every single day. So this is just a basic mermaid skirt. Now let's take a very good look at the back part of this dress. The back part of this dress is a mermaid skirt, which is quite longer than the front part, and the back part has a godet attached to it. If you don't know what a godet is more like a triangular thread that is attached to either a straight skirt or a flared gown or anything. It's just like a triangular thread. That is the easiest explanation I can explain to you what a godet is. Now to cut this gown, you just cut a basic bustier that has a v-neck. I'm going to insert a clip for you guys here. Cut a basic bustier that has a v-neck. So you notice that a lace fabric was used to line this blouse. Now the fabric that was used to make this dress looks more like this fabric looks more like a creped fabric. It doesn't look scuba to me, it doesn't look satin to me. It's definitely a creped fabric from what I can see here. Comment in the comment section what you think the fabric is. Okay, comment in the comment section what type of fabric you think it is. But you guys know that for this type of style, any single fabric that can hold a style will be able to sew this dress. Do you understand? So don't go and use chiffon or silk. I know why I keep mentioning this in videos, because people still come to ask me this question that, oh, can't chiffon sew it or can't silk sew it? No, it can't. Creped fabrics, satin fabrics, and other fabrics that can hold styles can sew it, but not chiffon or silk. Okay, now for the bustier and for the godet, you will realize that, you will notice that the bustier was highlighted with lace fabric, and also the godet as well. And for the bustier as well, around the shoulder line, the sleeve, the bust line, they got trimmings from the lace fabric, and they just arranged it in a very beautiful way on the bustier, so that it will highlight the bust area, it will highlight the shoulder line area, and the dress will just look snatched, because that is what it's looking like. Okay, so to sew this gown, as I was saying before I diverted, you just have to cut basic princess dart bustier. Then you sew, when you top stitch the lace fabric on the bustier, then you go ahead to join both the front part and the back part.
So your paper on a fold of 2, extend your ruler by 3 inches and mark your bust point. Normally when we want to mark our bustier, we normally mark our bustier, you extend your tape by 5 inches, but for this type of bustier we want to mark, you have to extend your tape by 3 inches. Then you go ahead to mark your armhole point. So those 2 lines I drew there, one is my bust line and the other one is my under bust line. I'll still go ahead to draw my nipple point line. What I'm just trying to do here is to insert my measurements to insert the bustier into this blouse. If you don't know how to cut a bustier, this is just like a very simplified tutorial. If you don't know how to cut a bustier, check the link in the description box. You see a detailed tutorial on how to cut a bustier. So this is my bust line, my nipple point line, and my under bust line. So what I'm just going to do now is I'm going to insert my bustier measurement, and I'm just going to draw the outline out. So like I was saying, normally when you want to cut a bustier, you extend your tape by 5 inches, but for this type you are going to extend it by 3 inches. Okay, then you mark your bust point, your nipple point, and your under bust point. So by the time you are done cutting, you have that shoulder off shoulder effect bustier that I was trying to explain in the video. So now I want to insert the neckline. If you notice, I'm working with really small numbers here because this is a paper illustration and this is more like in centimeters. So I just try to show you guys here that, okay, you can see that I'm extending it by 3 inches, okay, so that you guys will really understand. Normally when you're working with your bustier, you extend by 5 inches, like when you want to cut an off shoulder bustier. But since this is a bustier with an off shoulder bustier with shoulder, something like that, you have to always extend your tape or your ruler by 3 inches or 3 cm, whatever you're working with. So I'm going ahead to insert the neckline. Okay, go ahead to insert the neckline, but you see that this one is a little curvy. I went back to draw the V neckline in. So this is what we have here. So I'm just going to go ahead to cut the armhole and cut the neckline. So normally if you follow this procedure and you cut your bustier, you have this off shoulder with shoulder bustier effect. Now I'm just going to go ahead to cut the sleeve. So to cut the sleeve, fold the paper into 2, then mark out your desired portion, like the width of the fabric, like how wide you want the sleeve to be. Then you just have to insert like half an inch slant or 1 inch slant around the hem of the sleeve and also around the shoulder, because this is more like an off shoulder sleeve, so it's going to sit around the shoulder point. So you're just going to do something like that, like half an inch or 1 inch on both sides, like half an inch slants, and you're just going to cut through. So that's just like a very simple way to cut the sleeve and to cut the bustier. You can see it's slanted and it's going to rest well around the armhole. This is what it looks like. It's simple and easy to cut.
Now for the skirt, I don't want to confuse you guys, so you have to check out this clip on how to cut the skirt.
So to cut the mermaid skirt, we are first of all going to start with the front part. So for the front part, you're just going to mark out a desired measurement. I have a detailed tutorial on this channel on how to cut a mermaid skirt. Link to that tutorial is in the description box, so just check it out there. So you're just going to cut out your dimensions for the mermaid skirt. This is just like a sketch on how to cut a mermaid skirt. So I'm cutting the front part now. So this is what the front part looks like. The front part is just a very basic mermaid skirt. This is what the front part looks like. Now I'm going to go ahead to cut the back part. So with the help of the front part, I'm going to cut the back part. So I'm going to fold my paper into 2 again, and I'm going to trace out the outline of the front part. Now, you know, when you're working with your fabric, you still have to fold your fabric into 2, you understand? So when you're working with your fabric, normally what you should do is you should lay it on the fabric and cut. That's after adding all the measurements you want to add. So after tracing out the original length of the skirt I want, I'm just going to go ahead to add, like, depending on how long you want the back to be, you can add 5 extra inches, you can add 10 extra inches. Just add it because we need it to have that up and down, you know, that asymmetric high low effect that the back will give you. That's what I'm trying to create here. So just look at what I'm doing. So after adding the extra allowance for the flowy effect at the back, I just went ahead to cut it. I forgot to insert my zip allowance here, so make sure you insert your zip allowance when cutting the back. So this is what we have here. That is the point where the mermaid flare started from. So now to insert the godet around the hem, I'm just going to go there and mark about 2 inches or 2 cm. When you're working with your fabric, you might do 2 inches, 3 inches, depending on how wide you want it, and you're just going to connect it to that point. So it can start from, you can see that the flare here where I want to take the godet is starting from the point where the mermaid flared, you know, that point where it started from. So you are just going to draw a triangle like so, like you can see there, just the way you can see it there. Then you're going to cut it out. Now you need to note the measurement of this piece you are cutting out. So first of all, this is what the back looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. We're going to go ahead to draft the godet. So like I said, you need to pay attention to the measurement of that piece you cut out. So I'm going to take the measurement of the length and also the width, and they are almost the same measurement. I think about just a few centimeters difference. So I'm just going to take the exact length here. You add about half an inch, you know, so for sewing in case it jumps. Then on this side too, you're going to mark same thing. So for here I took 16 and a half cm. For the sides as well, I also marked 16 and a half cm. So the actual measurement was 16 cm. So I just went ahead to mark, to add half an inch, because this is more like a triangular, you know, piece, and by the time you sew it will jump. So make sure when you're cutting yours, if the length is 16 inches or 16 cm, mark about 16.5 cm. So after drawing the triangle like so, I'm just going to connect it with my ruler. You can see that I worked with a straight ruler and a French curve. So this is how to draft a godet. Okay, next thing I'm just going to go ahead to do is I'm going to cut it out. So this is the piece we are going to replace back to that skirt part. Okay, so it's not just like a normal flare. Some people can want to, you know, be funny and say, oh, I'll just cut a normal flare. It won't really fit well if your measurements are not right. So this is how you draft the godet. So this is what we have here. I'm just going to go ahead to attach it to that part of the skirt. It's just very simple to attach, guys. Okay, so since this is a paper, I just top stitched it to the skirt. This is what it looks like. You can see that the skirt is already coming together already. So this is the back part and this is the front part. Now we are just going to sew the back part and the front part together. Now after I was done sewing the back part and the front part together, this is what it looks like. The skirt is not yet ready. Remember, it has that asymmetric, you know, high-low effect from the front to the back. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to use my biro and I'm going to shape it out like that. Okay, you now see the reason why I extended the length for the back. Okay, so I'm going to shape it out like that. You can see the curvy shape, and I'm just going to cut it out. Good. Now this is just the easiest way and the simplest way to cut the skirt part of this gown. You can see it has a high-low effect, the godet, you know. This is just the easiest way and fastest way, guys. Okay.
Now you've seen how to cut the skirt. So when you are done sewing the blouse, you are done cutting the skirt and joining the front part of the skirt to the back part of the skirt, what you have to do now is attach the bustier and the skirt together. If you guys take a look at the band, you realize that the band was not joined to the blouse, neither was it joined to the skirt. The band was just, you know, placed on the waistline of the gown. So when you are done sewing the bustier to the skirt, all you have to do, this band looks like it's about 2 inches in length. Is it length? In width? Yeah, 2 inches in width. So all you have to do is cut out a fabric that is 4 inches wide. You fold it into 2, you sew, you turn it over, give it a good press again. You put your gum around the waistline of the gown, then you literally press the band to it. Give it a good press, let it dry. Use your needle and your thread to hold it down in very tiny minute stitches that will not be noticed. Then you go over to attach your zip, then you attach your sleeve, And guys, this is just the easiest way, the fastest way, and the simplest way to sew this gown. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up if you're watching from YouTube. If you're watching from Facebook, don't forget to give this video a like. Don't forget to follow my page as well on Facebook as Stitchadress. If you're watching on YouTube and you've not subscribed, why? I want to ask you why you've not subscribed. Join the family by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so that whenever I post a video, you'll get notified. I post videos on this channel Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So come back for more, okay? And I'll see you in my next. Bye.